Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 on the 1999 Ford Mustang V6 with a 3.8 engine, PCM and instrument cluster now repair. I am very happy to announce that yes, the car is, or the system is now working. I have everything connected, try to cut the time on the videos as much as possible, but without cutting information. All right, so the reason I'm using this oscilloscope is in order to test the communication lines on the SCP, you need to do a differential test. So you're going to put the power and the ground on the two communication lines, which are in the DLC, pins 10 and pin 2. If you're going to do this test, if you have a picoscope 4425 or so, it doesn't matter, but you will have to put the ground side on pin 10 and the power side on pin 2. That's what you want to read. Like that, you will see that you will have minus 4 volts and possible 4 or backwards, but you will see the values. And I have everything ready to go, as I said. This is Rhodes and Schwartz, the RTH 1004 is a very powerful oscilloscope, very expensive too. It's touch screen, and you can change everything in here. You got the knobs and everything, but that's what that is, and that's what I like it. All right, so I got everything off. As you can see, I will be using IDS, for IDS for this. So give me 1 second, because I got now the oscilloscope connected in, put in here, so I can probably do this here like this. So I'm just going to turn everything on here. Immediately you will notice that I have indeed communication. Sorry for the glare on the screen, but that sometimes it's impossible to do. You can see the values in there. So I got -5 and +4. That's what this network is giving me. All right, so another thing you will notice immediately is cluster mileage. We got the mileage 150,026. John Warren, this is your computer and instrument cluster. Uh, I forgot to show you that, but now we got also the activation on the pads. That's what I put that little coil in here. Sometimes it's very hard, but believe me, every time you turn the ignition off and on, I can see the activation on that end. You will see it in a second. Got another computer. This is the next one online, and I have more computers on the other side. But again, I'm using the 4 BCM2 and 4 IDS. I have a full subscription for it. All right, so this is the screen. I'm not sure if I should probably give me 1 second to start the screen recording so we can see all this. Actually, um, sometimes I don't like to do that because it's a little uh, too much on editing. I think that, I mean, yes, you guys can see me there. So hi. uh, let's just do it like this. So this is for the previous session. So an open session was found. No, I don't want to resume that session. So we're going to start as usual from scratch. I'm going to delete that session because I will do a test now that you will be seeing. All right, so let's do the communication. For those that use ideas, you can just double click in here. That will start the same thing as checking on the tick mark or clicking on the tick mark. As you can see, the communication is really quick. Some other thing that you probably have already noticed is the TEF light was off instantly. It's not like blinking, 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 blinking. If you have a blinking, blinking TEF light, it means no communication. SPC is off. There is on this system, which I'm probably going to show you later, self-test that you can do in case you don't have a scanner. You want to do a self-test in your um, instrument cluster. You can just turn the ignition off, and then before you turn the ignition on, you're going to press this knob all the way in, and that will you push all the way in, turn the ignition on, and wait for the Plendle or screening here to show you tests. Then you can release the button and you're going to press it, and it'll show you what fault codes you have. I will put up, in the video, I will put the test description, how it's done, and then the fault codes for the cluster. Obviously, if you have IDS, you can just connect it straightforward. But when you have no communication, you might want to try to do that to guide you, because if it's no communication or so, then the scanner is not really that helpful, right? All right, so this is just questions of traction control and so on. I'm going to reply to that to yes. That is the correct vehicle, manual transmission, 1999. And now we can also see that it reads 241,000 kilometers. Don't ask me why it's in kilometers. I will not know, but probably I can change that on the toolbox. Let me see here. System and time. Let me see. Daytime. No. The information software. For those who wants to know, I'm using the latest software, which is in this case 128.06. Release software license. Oops, I will probably gonna have to cover that, but um, yeah, I don't see it. So let's go back to here, which is our important stuff. So that is indeed good. Let me make this a little smaller, because otherwise I'm actually using that computer, that laptop, for Windows 7 because obvious reasons for it's not too good. I probably can use on Windows 10, but I have Windows 11 on the PC, so I'm going to be using the laptop. It's actually better for these old systems. All right, so we can go here and then we can go again into body. Remember before, if you haven't seen the first video, go ahead and please visit that one. We were not able to do anything like this, or well, up to here, yes, because it's just communicating with the computer. But when I'm doing the cell test, I want you to see also the gauge, all the gauges. Now the computer, the scanner is in full command and is performing a self-test on the cluster. As you can see now, that is going by itself. The self-test is doing all the tests, and this is now we have 100% communication. And guess what? Pass. So we got a completely pass communication, which is I am super happy because that's exactly what I wanted to see. I can go back into here and now select, sorry, let's exit the instrument cluster. Let's exit again. This is such a old school, with this um, setup on the let me see on sorry on 4IDS. It's just they haven't changed in ages. I mean, this is the same thing I think from since like 1972. It should be updating this software and do something better than this, but they don't care. As long as it works, they don't want to break it. All right, so for those who use the IDS, then you go over to that the logger. In here, I'm going to obviously engine computer. It's a manual transmission, right? So I'm going to just select the same piece that we were selecting on the first video. Again, just a coolant, engine RPMs, and intake air temperature sensor. For now, let me actually turn the ignition on in here. Let's just, again, the full probe, which is now taking command of those signals. So we will see the change in here, but let me, like that, you deselect the ones you don't want to see, like all these. I'm not really interested in that. So I'm going to put the injectors again. So injector 1, 2, that should be enough. Let me put 3 injectors. I don't need that one. Keep align memory. Not alone terms. I don't need the math. Well, we can just leave it, right? Let me see, where is the intake temperature sensor? Let's remove all this TPS. We can leave it. RPM, that we definitely need. Intake. Is this here? Temperature. Trying to look for the intake air temperature. Because math faults, math flow. IAC. I don't need the IAC either. Right here. Right here. So we got the intake temperature. and voltage. That's it. And then you just click the check mark, and now we got the values in there. Now I can apply a speed, and we can see that we got RPM, very, very small RPM. I want to make sure that this is going, but we can see right here, you see, it show me injection because this time I have the coil and the injector is connected to here. So we got the injector signal and the computer is working. Everything is now working 100%. See if we can see the injection when it happens because it's very low RPM. I actually should probably just change. Let me turn this off, change this to 51. I think it's the one that works the better for this. Put it back again. Hey guys, I want to add this information on the testing after repairs for your wiring. Again, this is your computer. Now I rigged and created the entire harness for all the injectors and all the coils. Again, this is coils that will have primary activation. So two coils, or sorry, one. It's a coil pack that has three coils that has two poles, so two cylinders, both fires and different stroke, but that's why it's only three drivers. You will see that in the pictures. We'll probably add it in here again, explaining why is this system different. This is not a um, transistor coil. This has the actual uh, ignition module as part of the engine computer, and the computer grounds the primary circuit of the coils, just so we understand that. But I want to see or show that we have right now, I have four injectors on this um, front emulator and then two on the back. You can see the two green lights. I got one coil on the back as well. I'm providing power, and then through a test light, the coil or primary. I got two on the front, so I had coil one, two, and coil three. Again, one, you will see it on the pictures. These fires two cylinders, and two cylinders, and the injectors obviously are all individual. But yes, we can see it's running. All injectors and all the coils are working, and we have RPM and the fuel. Sorry, the mileage on the computer. I can actually change even the temperature. Let me go over to a 25% on temperature. It takes a little longer or a little bit for the actual cluster to go down. That's just the way the normal engine will react, right? So we don't expect that needle to go boom immediately to there, but that changes also the injection time based on temperature. But we can see that it's reading RPMs, and it's a little glitchy because of the signal that I'm providing, but it's good enough for me as far as being able to provide RPM, and we can see that low RPM, and I can go 1600 RPMs or so, a little more steady in here. Yeah, we can see that again. The needle is a little bouncy, but for my test, all I need to know is that I have all coils working and all the injectors working. And I can turn this off. So I'm going to turn that off, turn everything off. You can see no cluster, and we can see pretty quickly again the coil activation on the transceiver for the anti-theft when I turn the ignition on, and the theft light goes immediately off. This is the way it should work. Now everything is working again, like I said, 100%. Put the ignition back in here, and then I can set up the computer to run around 1500 RPMs. You see right there, 1500 RPMs, and then coils and injectors all working beautiful. Again, this is more bright because it's firing two injectors, so sorry, two cylinders at the same time, but everything is working, and we can see perfectly 6.2 milliseconds of injection across the board. Everything is working as it's supposed to be. I'm very happy with this. Hopefully you're wiring. You don't have any more issues on the car as far as wiring, But again, this is now all working properly. I will try to help you a little bit if you need any further assistance. Again, I have a diagnostic fee that I can help you as far as information and guide you through the test in the vehicle just in case it's necessary. Hopefully that's not the case. All right, guys, I will see you next time. A little late on the date, so you guys can see that I work really late all the time, trying to get as much as computers out the door and helping people around. But this is something I really, really enjoy. All right, guys, see you next time. Talk to you later. Bye bye. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.